Hello and welcome to the Student Seat podcast. I'm James Thundercliffe and I'm joined by a colleague, a friend, and a really good photographer, Nikita. Hello, Nikita.
Hello, James. Nice to meet you again on the podcast, I guess.
The pleasure's mine, honestly. So we've got a few questions for you, Nikita. I think the students really wanted to hear what you've got to say about things that you're interested in. Mm-hmm. So we've got a few questions lined up.
Okay. Fire away.
When did your interest in photography start?
So I've always been like a really artsy kid. I've always been into like drawing, painting and things. And my mum and dad for one Christmas bought me a bridge camera. So in that I was out and about shooting like the stereotypical sunsets, landscapes, animals, things like that. But it wasn't until I got to college and that's when my sort of passion for photography grew. So I remember shooting my first roll of film with my tutor and he showed us how to make our first print. And I remember seeing it going into the chemicals. And I know it sounds really geeky, but I was absolutely mesmerised how this blank piece of paper then all of a sudden had this photo on. I thought, oh my God, that is amazing. So from there, I ended up just shooting a lot of film. I didn't really touch digital cameras, not until I got into university, to be honest. And I was just obsessed. And from there, I've just grown and grown. And my passion for photography has just sort of grown as well.
I think that's clear to see as well, for anyone that does know you. Within that then, do you have a favourite style or genre?
Yeah, so all students know because I like go on so much about it, but I absolutely love fine art photography. So that is like my jam. I love sort of that conceptualization, I guess, where it's sort of like self-expression. So not having a print that is quite straightforward. I like to have to study the print, understand. I'm really, really nosy as a person. Yeah. So for me, that nosiness within fine art, like I get to sort of pick the brain of the artist or whoever's made that piece of work. So, and then also bring my own sort of interpretation to that. And that's why I really enjoy fine art. But I also like it for myself because that's where I sort of resonate as a photographer, to sort of shoot different kinds of concepts and express how I'm feeling. I'm not good with words. So for me, photography is like that output where I can sort of just express what I'm needing to say just through a different like medium, I guess.
Do you see yourself as a magpie photographer, getting ideas from different people? And if so, who are the people that you do sort of resonate with?
So I like to take inspiration from literally anything. It's not even just photographers. Like when I'm having like a creative block, I tend to listen to like classical music because that sort of gets my creative juices flowing. I'll start looking at art. I'll even look at like literature and books and things. But in terms of photographers, like my favourite ones, which I take the most inspiration from, would be someone like Cindy Sherman, especially her sort of AI portraits. I really, really enjoy them ones. Also, my favourite fine art photographer is Wolfgang Tillmans by far. I just love his like exhibition work. Like it's so sporadic, but it's like cleverly put together again. It's that high conceptualization, which I really enjoy about him. So probably Cindy Sherman and Wolfgang Tillmans would be like my top two photographers, which I take inspiration from. But
I thought you were going to say Richard Moore, but you haven't. So fine. Let's move on. Really interesting though. To hear about that, because obviously I do photography as well, but totally different places we come from. But that's for another day. We are both teachers.
Yes.
So I'm interested to know your story behind that. So what made you want to be a teacher?
Yeah. So it's going to sound a little bit corny, but for me, I've always known I've wanted to be a teacher since like being quite young. My sort of thing is I couldn't see myself in like a 9-to-5 office job. I need something that's going to be different every day, something where I can like truly be creative as a person. So for me, teaching was sort of that side step to that, where I could still create my own work and be creative in my own like sort of outside hobby, but then be able to teach. I also really love the idea of being able to help people like realise what they want to do within photography. So by the time everyone comes to us on level 3, they're all like, yeah, I'm a natural history photographer. I like taking landscapes and animals and sunsets and all like that. And I always go to them, don't box yourself just yet, because by the time they've finished on them 2 years, they're somewhere else, and they might be a fashion photographer or a fine artist or a documentary photographer. And for me, the reason I became a teacher is because I wanted to impart that passion that I have to other people, to sort of like get them out there and start like really understanding and loving the sort of practical element of photography.
There's a couple of things there, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I think on the one hand, and I totally agree with it, there's nothing better than seeing someone's journey developing and really it takes them somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. Is it frustrating when you're teaching students and they don't have that passion?
It can be, yeah. To be fair, I've not really encountered that whilst being here, which is really nice. Everyone that's come on the course wants to do something with photography. It might not necessarily be something that I would resonate with. So like some people like product photography. That's not my style, but I love like how everyone sort of finds that little niche and gets that passion for it and gets really excited when they try it for the first time and go, actually, this is for me. So it can be a bit frustrating when people don't have that passion, but I've not really encountered that whilst being here. So that's been really sort of nice.
That's good. So you've mentioned that commercial photography, maybe not your thing. What is your favourite subject within photography to teach?
My favourite subject, I think, like for me, and it's not a subject, so to speak, it's more of a module.
Okay.
So the FMP module is like my favourite thing to teach. All my students, past and present, will know how excited I get about the FMP because it really does get to push that creative element. So when we're doing FMP, they sort of bring something to the table and then I can start going, have you thought about this or this? And then they start bouncing that ideas, and that creativity is what I really enjoy, because you sort of get so used to sitting in your sort of own individual box and having your own ideas, but then having that communication and collaboration with people, and that's something I try to push. It actually broadens that, so you might actually end up shooting stuff that you wouldn't necessarily have thought of before. So probably the FMP, and then because we can do the FMP in second year, that exhibition is like my favourite.
Where they showcase the work that they create.
Yeah, absolutely love that.
So for those that don't know, an FMP is your final major project. So at the end of each year on level 3 photo, all the skills that they've developed, they can decide how to use that and what to create. And some of the past projects have been?
So we've had some really diverse work. So I remember one of my first years teaching, there was a student who went and documented game shooting. And she did a project and she shot on film and dig, and she made like a whole like sort of series, a little book to go with it, and exhibited that. I've had someone last year who went to a zoo and documented animal life. I've had someone else who did a full fashion magazine based on like charity shop clothes and upcycling. So a like really diverse range.
And they all came in not particularly at the start of the course with those ideas, and it developed over time.
Yeah, a lot of them came in with going, oh, I like taking pictures of my dog, or I like taking pictures of the landscapes around.
That we all.
Like, which is nice, but it's nice to see them develop into
it is good.
Something bigger.
So on a personal level, what's been your proudest sort of achievement over the last 5 years?
I would say for me, it would be probably the exhibitions that we get to run within the 5 years. So like for me, having that accumulation of all that work, and I get really choked up at the exhibitions. I always do, because I'm so proud of the students and what they've done, because like you say, that journey as a teacher, getting to see their start points to where they end up, and them actually getting to see the work up and go, wow, I've really smashed this. And it gives me that sense of like, I'm really proud of them. And when they get to share that with a family and friends and actually look at that accomplishment, that's what my job's for. Like when I see that and I see the students actually really feel proud of where they've come from and where they've developed, that gives me that sort of wholesome feeling. I know it's corny, but I really enjoy it.
And it shows that you're in it for the right reasons, because some people like to be a teacher just because of the holidays and the pay. So
wow.
If you weren't a photography teacher or a teacher in general, what would you be?
So there's two here, I feel. So my first one, if I wasn't a photography teacher, I definitely would be pursuing more of my fine art work. So doing some like bigger exhibitions, trying to make a bit more financial gain from my work. The only reason I don't right now is because I I feel for me, my fine art work is my passion.
Quite personal.
Yeah, quite personal. And if I was to start doing that for financial gain, I don't feel like I'd be in it for the right reasons.
Okay.
But in the same breath...
It would change it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be more like a sort of chore for me rather than like a self-expression, I feel. So my other one, and this is going to sound really sad, but being an accountant...
Wow.
I love maths and numbers.
I didn't see that coming.
No. I that was always my backup.
Okay.
I absolutely love maths, and I love sitting there and working stuff out and doing all this mathsy kind of stuff. So for me, I feel like an accountant would be it. So very different ends of the spectrum, I guess.
And look at where you are.
And now,
Sort of in the middle of that, but more towards the artsy side.
I'd say so.
My next question then is going back into young people and photography. Have you got any advice for any young person who wants to break into photography as a career, maybe?
Yeah. I think for me, and again, my students are probably going to laugh at this, it's my always saying, like, shoot more.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing you can do as a photographer. I'm talking to everyone out there, if you want to be in photography, shooting more. Because the only way you ever get better is by actually shooting. Mm-hmm. Like, some of my first work when I started my sort of venture into photography was absolutely diabolical. It was awful. And when I sort of got that passion for it, not all my work was my best work, but I learned so much, especially from the mistakes. So, like, don't be deterred. Like, not every shoot's going to be fantastic. Even now, when I shoot, not everything's amazing and not everything's great and what I expected, but it's how you overcome that makes you a better photographer. So for me, it would be like, shoot more. That would be my first sort of bit of advice. Just keep going with it.
I think to add to that, one of my points would be for young people is to find someone experienced to look at your work, whether that is a teacher or someone that's doing it professionally. Get them to look at your work and they can give you some tips and advice, and that will help you improve.
Yeah, absolutely, because you always can learn from someone else, can't you?
Yeah, I think so. Have you got any tips for anyone thinking of going into teaching?
Yeah, so my journey has been a bit of a roller coaster within teaching, as you know. So for me, I've got two pieces. The first one would be, don't be afraid to fail, because at the start of my career, I used to get so worked up about every little mistake I made.
Not now, then.
Well, still a little bit now. I've still got a bit of imposter syndrome. But, like, at the start, it would even be the silliest little things. I'd be like, oh, I'm such a failure as a teacher. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But it's like, take that and in your stride, because I always refer to it like driving lessons. It's great having, like, that PGCE and learning them kind of elements, but you don't truly learn the teaching role until you're in it. Because there's so many things that come up unexpectedly, but it's about rolling with that.
It's something you can't really teach.
No, you can't.
You have to do it, don't you?
Yeah, you have to just throw yourself in at the deep end, and at times it feels a bit overwhelming. Yeah. But it's how, like, resilient you are and how you build on that, which I would say. My second piece of advice is don't pretend you know everything. You don't. You don't, and that's fine. Like, even now, sometimes students will ask me something and it's completely off my radar because I don't work in that realm of photography or whatever. But don't be afraid to say to the students, I don't know, but I will find out.
You know how to find out.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing. I think that gives the students a lot more respect for you as well, because they're not expecting you to know everything. And I think that's something at the start I was like, God, they're going to expect me to know every single bit of photography. And that's just not physically possible. Yeah. But being prepared to find out the answer, that's the really important bit, and gains you a lot of respect, I feel, and gets you that relationship.
So I think that's good advice, and I totally agree. Going back onto you. Yeah. The next 5 years, what do you hope to achieve?
So next 5 years, I want to have started my PhD. I'm so interested.
Because you've got a master's already.
I have got a master's. I've just finished that in April. So I want to start that, maybe not this year, maybe next year. Okay. But I'm interested in how art is used as a therapy tool and sort of used to help people cope with mental health and that. So that's sort of what I'm really interested in looking and finding within my in a PhD. I also want to start, and my students, again, you're probably going to laugh at me, but that project with the food and the film. Okay, Ben knows. He's just giving me that look. He's giving me that side eye.
So I like food.
really keen, and I say it every year because I don't have time because I was doing my masters. I'm making like an immersive food series with film. So shooting on colour film, eating food, shooting the meal at the start, and then at the end, leaving some of the remnants, jarring it up, putting the film in, leaving it to marinate for a good week.
Wow.
Then creating these prints because it's like film soups. They look really cool. If you don't believe me, you've got to go look it up. And then doing these huge prints of like an immersive food experience. That's what I hope to have started in the next 5 years and sort of underway. And
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Because when I have some food, there are no remnants. It's all gone.
I'll have to like train myself to leave a little bit.
Like the odd pea.
The odd pea, bit of vinegar, maybe just squirting it in a jar.
I look forward to seeing that series somewhere, in an exhibition somewhere. Moving on.
Okay.
Let's have some real serious questions now. What's your favourite Christmas movie?
Ooh, favourite Christmas movie would be The Nativity, first one.
Yeah, first one.
Not the second or anything. They're rubbish. They are naff.
Cash it in.
First one, it is pure gold.
Yeah.
It brings joy to my heart. I literally sing along to every single song, much to my family's annoyance. And I still quote it throughout the year.
Throughout the year?
Throughout the year, I'll just start shouting like sparkle and shine on the top of my voice from that song. And yeah, it's just, I love Mr. Poppy.
Yeah.
He's very lovely.
Which side of the fence do you sit on regarding Die Hard, Christmas film or not?
I've never seen Die Hard.
Okay.
But, so I don't feel like I can have an opinion.
Is it a Christmas film?
As a Christmas film, I don't...
Just out in the audience, is it a Christmas film? Yes. Yeah, it is. It's set on Christmas Eve, and the last song is Let It Snow.
Oh, I mean, that feels Christmassy.
But people say it's not a Christmas film.
Why?
They say it's a film set at Christmas. Makes it a Christmas film,
It's a
doesn't
Christmas
it?
movie then.
So anyway, get in touch with us if you think Die Hard isn't a Christmas film, and we'll say that you're wrong. Let's go on to Spotify.
Okay.
Who are your top artists? You've mentioned classical music here, but who are your top artists on Spotify?
Top artist, for me, number one is going to be Elton John. I can tell you now, when that rap comes out, it's going to be Elton John. I'm literally obsessed with the man. I listen to every single thing.
Seen him live?
I've seen him live, cried my eyes out, the full concert. He was amazing. I wish I could go back and see it. I've never been to anything like it, and I just love him so much. So, Elton John, if you're watching this, I love you.
Well, his eyesight's gone now.
Oh, yeah, but he might listen.
Yeah. If you're listening, Elton, I also saw you live, but it rained when I saw you.
Oh.
But still great.
Yeah, he's insane.
But not as great as it could
No.
have been. So who else?
I think the other two, so top three, I think next one will be Dolly Parton. I love Dolly Parton. I used to hate her growing up, like music-wise. My mum used to always play her, and I'd be like, "Mum, why? Turn it off." But now I'm turning into my mum, I feel, with my music taste. And
that happens, doesn't it?
It does, and she's not wrong. Dolly Parton does have some bops, so
Yeah.
I think Dolly will be up there. And then my guilty pleasure from my teenage years would be McFly.
Nothing wrong with McFly.
I love McFly. I went to see them
Yeah,
as well.
talented
They were
bunch.
so good. And I am trying to buy some more tickets to go and see them again with Busted. So
Fingers crossed. Did you know the guy from McFly wrote loads of songs for Busted before?
yeah, I did.
Before he was in McFly.
Yeah.
My little fact for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just do this. Okay, so we're just going to come back now with some quick fire questions.
Okay.
So you just got to answer these as quickly as possible.
Got this.
Okay. Here we go. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Salt or pepper?
Salt.
Ant or deck?
Ant.
Fish or chips?
Chips.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Lennon or McCartney?
Lennon.
McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Grimsby or Cleethorpes?
Cleethorpes.
Fast or Furious?
Furious.
Christmas or Halloween?
Halloween.
Blair or Oasis?
Blur.
Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Okay, let me just go through them. So tea or coffee, what did you say?
Tea.
Why?
Tea. I just love it. I'd rather have a cup of tea than a cup of coffee. I only drink coffee at work to keep me like energy up.
Yeah.
But tea.
Just in the morning?
Just in the morning, one cup of coffee, but I'm a brew drinker.
Yorkshire tea, surely.
Always Yorkshire, nothing else.
Owen will be nodding.
Can't be anything else. No PG tips, Telly.
Salt or pepper, what did you say?
Salt.
Is that just on your food or just in general? You like a bit of salt just in your water, or
Just on my food, James.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a bit salty as a person as well. Maybe.
that's and or deck. I can't remember what you said for it. All these.
I said ant.
Do you know which one that is? Big four.
Big
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's the funnier one out of the
They
two.
come in twos, though, don't
They
they? Come as
do,
a
they
pair.
do. I like them both, but ants just edges it. For me.
Okay. Fish or chips? You said fish.
Chips.
You said chips.
I said chips.
Really?
Yeah, I got to be in the mood to eat fish, so chips, I can have it with anything. It won't bother me.
I'll give you that.
Chip butty.
And Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi, I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Coke. I'm not really a fan. I'll
right.
drink it if it's the only thing in the bar. In terms
All
of,
I know about Pepsi is there isn't a Christmas truck that comes for Pepsi, is there?
well, no, but I'd rather still
But
drink
it's,
Pepsi.
but it's your opinion.
Yeah.
Lennon or McCartney, I agree.
Yeah.
With Lennon. Nothing wrong with McCartney, but
No, Lennon,
yeah,
better.
the master. McDonald's or KFC?
McDonald's.
Why though?
I'm not a KFC fan. I just find it really. I know, like, they're both quite greasy, but KFC for me is more greasy, and I don't like that.
I think McDonald's, there's probably a little bit more choice because KFC
Yeah,
is
it's
just
just
chicken.
chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that. Grimsby or Cleethorpes? You said Cleethorpes.
Cleethorpes. I love the beach. Well, I know it's not much of a
Alright.
beach, but I always go there. I just like to sit and quiet and just listen to the sea.
But Grimsby has got the docks. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on the dock of the bay.
Oh, yeah, that'd be lovely.
Fast or Furious? You said Furious.
Yeah.
And I have seen you Furious. And I can wholeheartedly say it's not. You need to be avoided. When
I
you're
think
in
it's the
bed.
small person in me
Yeah.
compensating for my height.
Christmas or Halloween?
Halloween. Because Christmas does my head in. Sorry to be controversial, but it actually does. It starts too early. Everyone starts it in like October. And by the
who?
time, like loads of people this year.
First of December.
Yeah, I'm a 1st of a December person, but loads of people put their trimmings up in November and October, and I'm like, by the time Christmas comes, it's clutter.
Yeah.
It does my head in, and I just want to put it all away. If I had my way in my house, I would put my trimmings up probably like 2 days before Christmas because I just don't like the clutter.
That's one. And then take them down on Christmas Day.
I remember me and my sister did that once. My mum and dad went to bed, and we both hate the Christmas decorations. So when they went to bed, we took them down.
Crazy.
Oh my God, my mum was
I
not.
bet you don't even eat turkey, do you?
I do eat
But you
turkey.
just have a sandwich.
No, I
Christmas
do
Day.
have a Christmas dinner. My dad does the best Christmas dinner though. It's like a mountain of food coma after.
And then Blair or Oasis? You say Blair?
Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I know loads of people.
Is it because Oasis are a bit?
I think they're a bit overrated at times.
Yeah.
Like, I like them. Don't get me wrong. I'll listen to their music, but I do think the hype's way too big for what they are.
Yeah. I've seen both live, but I think Blair. Love Blair. Oasis.
Yeah.
I can take or leave.
Yeah. If I had to
Sorry.
pick one, it would be Blur.
Windows or Mac?
Mac, I can't do.
I used to be fully in the Windows camp.
No.
Now I'm a.
I think because of
Know
he
all the
spoils
shortcuts
us.
and everything,
He
yeah.
spoils us. We get Macs and everything. So, like, for me, I don't think.
Especially for creative things.
Yeah.
And then cats or dogs?
Cats, that was a hard one.
Yeah.
Because I love dogs, because I've grown up with dogs, but I've got a special spot for cats now that I've got Marmalade and Nigel in my life, my little ginger cats.
Wow.
And they've sort of edged it over to the cat side.
Cats have got, I think, a little bit more about them. Dogs a little bit needy. So controversial.
Well, I don't know, because my cats are really needy.
Are they?
Follow me everywhere. Nigel, if I sit at the breakfast bar in the morning reading my book, he has to have the chair pulled out next to me just to sit and watch me. He literally follows me everywhere, so.
Nikita, thank you for coming in.
It's all right.
You just work here.
Yeah, I
You
do
don't
work
really
here.
go anywhere. But, it's been lovely to have this chat.
Yes.
Hopefully, you won't be a stranger and you'll come back and have some more chats with us.
Absolutely.
We'd love to know in about 5 years, you come back and tell us if you have created that food
I am.
soup or whatever it was
I'll invite you to my
called.
exhibition.
Please
open.
do. Please do. So, yeah, thanks for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your day.
One hit wonders, I'm telling you.
I did press 2 buttons at once there.